And we should... Am I? Yes, I have. I haven't forgotten my microphone setting. Hello, everyone. If you are there, of course. If you are here and not watching Evo. I'm just going to make sure everything is working correctly, but I think that it is. If you are in chat, do say hello, so I know everything's working. But I suspect it might be quiet today, so I'm just going to get started straight away. Last time we were here, I focused primarily on fixing up the entrance area and making sure that I was happy with it. I'm not unhappy with it. I think it's fine. If I could, I would create an entirely unique landing area for this park, but you know, it is what it is. I'm satisfied with it as it is. And we primarily focused on that, and then we focused on changing how the tour ride was going to be, getting ourselves a new tour building off the workshop, and making use of that, and just generally starting to tidy it up a bit. Now, off stream, I went away and started working on over here. You're at a model train show in Wexford today. I haven't been to a model train show in so long. I'll have to see if there's one on close to where I am. Also, Joshua, I think you are the only one here, so hello. I went offline and sorted out the maintenance Jeep area, so, you know, this is just the standard maintenance Jeep building. I did have a look at some off the workshop. There are some very nice ones on the workshop, but none that really fitted the Jurassic Park style, so I basically went with the original, and I've just put a little bit of a storage area on the back, basically, just to make it look worked. And this is not the normal Jurassic Park geothermal power station. This is again one off the workshop that was just a little bit more compressed, which I thought fitted the area. And basically today I want to kind of just sort of focus on the areas where we've already started working on them. One of those definitely includes the tour track running through this habitat, because I really do not like how this habitat has turned out. I think it's pretty ghastly, actually. So, yeah. Might be some substantial changes to that in this session, but we'll see how it goes. You met some of your friends. Thomas Theorist, Donny Gould, Dad Rail was there. And there was a set called Jurassic Sotor. I have seen a few different sort of Jurassic-themed model railways, which I think are all really awesome. So, I just want to neaten up this a little bit. I kind of feel that, like, in front of here, this really ought to be just the pavement one. I always keep forgetting to switch to the pavented type. I think that looks better for in front of the Jurassic building. It also means that we can put our own walls and stuff around it, and it just looks a little nicer. I do think I'm going to get rid of the trees here, 'cause I think I'm probably going to want to do all that manually. Why is this tree not demolishing? That to me is definitely within our demolishing view. Really? Apparently not. Hello, Chad. I'm doing all right today. It's been a quiet day. Obviously, Dane is not here. He's in America at the moment with Fallout, so it's been quite quiet here today. Just did some gardening. That's basically all I've done. I still don't know what to put here. Probably some sort of guest structure of some sort. I'm not sure yet. We do, however, need to think about power. Where we're going to drop power pylons. I think I might actually have to design a new one in this session. Custom design. Okay, let's... How can we make this Jurassic, basically? It's annoying that you can't Okay, that is as thin as I can make that. Why do we have to kick up the smoke all the time? Right. Do we completely enclose this? I think enclosing it will make it look a little nicer. So, bamboo is typical, but I think we'll go with the concrete. I think the concrete makes more sense. A sort of industrial structure like this. We're gonna cover everything. They were watching your stream. I have no idea who you could be referring to. Yes. We did finally get an actual response. And that is my opinion as well. I don't consider what they told us the first time a response. The response didn't come until that message the other day. That is what I consider an acceptable response to what was going on. If you're asking for my opinion on it, I am one of the it's a bit late now crowd. I understand why people like Evo are like, I disagree with that. But in my opinion, it's a bit late to give that sort of thing now. And I think there is a real danger of people now just ignoring the fact that they've treated the community badly, and it's not for the first time. Okay, let's again not remember that this is not the first time we've had to have, frankly, this sort of bullshittery going on. If it was the first time, or if if this was a less regular occurrence with Frontier, then yes, I would be a bit more inclined to give them the benefit of the doubt. But this isn't the first time, and I'm not willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. But the one thing I would say is they have the possibility here to come out of this good if, stress the word if, they take the time to actually do better when, they can actually talk. Because at the moment, obviously, they still can't really speak at the moment. It's where they go from here that's kind of an important defining thing for me. If they go from here and just try to act like everything's fine now and ignore that anything happened and just don't sort of acknowledge what happened to the community and then don't offer the community something to prove that things are going to change, then I'll be extremely disappointed, and I will be making, that will be my opinion. I will be extremely disappointed that they choose not to learn anything from what happened. However, if they do show up when they can actually talk to us and go like, yeah, we understand what happened, we accept that you're angry, the situation, we can't explain exactly what happened about the situation, but going forward, we are going to be making changes. We will be making sure that the May dinosaur is ready to go as soon as possible, that the April dinosaur you were supposed to have is going to be released as soon as possible. It would be nice to know, even if it's not finished, maybe what the April dinosaur is. Like, if they turn around and go, by the way, the April dinosaur is going to be this. It's not ready yet, but at least we can say, at least we can talk about what the animal is that it's going to be. And the best thing they can do is say, and by the way, here is a roadmap with some general gist of where we're going to go with development from here and what you can expect. That, for me, is sort of like the bare minimum expectation at this point. Hello, Navi. Should we do the roof? I think we're going to need some copper is just not a Jurassic roofing. Let's go get these guys. This stuff is that's too big. Don't mind this bit of the roof being not thatched. I think that's fine. I think we do need to put in some columns. I like this idea of having columns kind of at every 45-degree point. But you are a Star Trek fan, that's right. In fact, Star Trek have already had our day. We had First Contact Day back at the beginning of April. To celebrate first contact between humanity and an alien race. A bit tall, isn't it? And a bit ugly as a result. The thing about the Jurassic Park sort of building theme is it's quite difficult to actually replicate. Because a lot of it is just placing columns and stuff like that. I know I'm spending time on this, but I do want to have like a decent transformer for this period, just because it'll help moving forwards. So I know I wouldn't normally do lots of modular building in one of these. Brick, concrete, I think stone. Plaster, stone. That's too big. Is it me? But Jurassic World Evolution 3 does not give a feeling that... give the feeling that Evolution 1 or 2 gave. I suppose my response to that would be... what feeling did the other games give you? So I think there's a lot that you can actually sort of think about when it comes to that. I do agree that I don't quite get the same joy, or not necessarily joy, but making content on the game. is more of a chore, and that does sometimes put me off wanting to make content on the game. Sometimes it is difficult to get the like willingness to make content on this game just because of how long it takes to make content on this game. For the I'm posting a video not on Wednesday because Wednesday's video has changed. There's a video coming out in a couple of weeks of just me building a viewing tower design. And it was more or less 4 hours of building that had to be edited down into a 20-minute video. And that's a lot of messing around, I can tell you. We do need a window or two in here. I think on this side we'll do some They felt like evolution games. This one does, but in a different way. I think the modular part is the bit that's so different. Yes, and this is what I was talking about in my... I believe I mentioned this in my review. For me, Evolution 3 feels like it's lost part of its identity. The identity of the evolution games used to be quite strong, and now it feels like it's just become another Frontier game. And obviously there's a good component to that and a bad component to that, but yeah, I just can't help but feel like it's lost something. Okay, that will do for now. I'll probably neaten this up another day. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these here. And I'm going to delete that. Move that a little closer in.
Attention personnel.
Okay. Right, obviously we want to make sure that this is connected. This one is a bit too far away from a pylon, so I'm thinking we probably want to have another pylon just outside. Surviving Earth easily has the best Dimetrodon design in media. Bear with me one moment. Hang on. Dimetrodon. Surviving Earth. I want to have a look at this properly. It is pretty good. I'll grant them that. It is pretty good. I like the coloration on it. Although I do think the eye spots on the Walking with Monsters Dimetrodon was a little nicer than sort of generic stripes. But it is a pretty good design. I will grant you that. Is this all... I hope this is not all manually placed. It is not. Okay. That wasn't as well. Okay, let's just clear a little bit of space here. Random rock. Cannot remove any of that. Maintenance post there, it's kind of important for that to be there. And that has to be there as well. I'm thinking we want a pylon to go here. So let's say I want... Oh, of course. You're not going to let me have it in... Well, so annoying that it's like so close. Okay, and then what I think we can do is we can kind of hide this with rocks. I'm thinking, let's just create like a... Okay, and then let's put some planting in this. Gonna have to manually put planting in this, obviously, because the planting brush is naff is probably the nicest word I would have for it. I think Brazil nuts goes quite nicely with the whole tropical theme of the Azores. And I think it leads to some quite nice shade around this. And I think we can bury some different color of tree in here. You know me, I hate maps that make it look too green. I like there to be some differing colors here and there. Do my classic bury the palm trees into the dirt to give some nice ferny sort of palm look. I should at some point probably do a video on my take on how to make foliage look good and natural. But principally my sort of approach to it is always use a big range of vegetation, even if you think it's like not the environment that sort of suits it. Use a big range of vegetation types, preferably color, if you can accomplish that. And lots of layering. Somewhere in here that there they are. I want some flowers, since they are one of the few flowering bushes we do actually have. So I do want to put some flowers around here. Just adds a splash of color. Nice. How was the Grand Prix, Navi? I'll be honest. I have been really disappointed with not just modern Formula 1, but also Miami is a Grand Prix that I think is a particularly bad track. Is there one of these with the arm? I like that. Bro, personally, every US track should leave. I don't mind Texas. I curiously enough, I think Texas is actually a really nice track. But Miami, I think, sucks. And Las Vegas, I think, sucks. In fact, my buddy Nerd Guy, who lives in Vegas, absolutely hates the Grand Prix coming to Vegas because it causes so much disruption for everybody involved. And it's a naff Grand Prix. Okay, so everything over there has power, but we do need to reconnect up the power over here just to make sure that we're safe when we're doing the rest of this. We should now be danger to guests. They're not a danger to guests. Okay, now something I did want to do is these response centers. I want to make kind of part of this tour. So, like, as you're going through in your truck, you sort of go past this response center, and it's like you get to see a bit of the back scenes stuff going on. So I want to make them kind of more part of the tour than what they are here. We'll start with the X. Well, we're probably going to need... Okay, so... Exhibition Center. I'm curious. Have we got any... if I just type in park... Actually, let's see if there are any decent ones here. I have to say these thumbnails aren't particularly great, but that's quite a cute one. Wow, this is a very oh, that's very modern. I actually really like that. That's the Din one. Oh, look, he's got like... Oh, I like this. It's like it's a little visitor center bit. I kind of like that. I don't think bamboo on the top tower works. I think that should just be concrete, but I like trying to use the visitor center parts for stuff like this. I think that works, but I want something that's maybe less... Ah, see, this is a bit more... the sort of thing that you would show off. What do you mean restricted 1 of 1 build? What other building has he combined it with? Oh, it's a science center as well. See, this is why I don't like these combined buildings. Because you then end up, when you're going through the workshop, being like, oh, I just want an expedition center. And you can't find one. Yes. I like the imagination of having all these bones, these exposed bones just lying around outside. It's a very imaginative perspective. Like, anyone who knows anything about fossil preparation knows that is definitely not how you transport fossils, but it's imaginative. I'll give it that. That's quite cute. That would work quite nicely in a British park, to be honest. That one. Antonelli. Oh, Antonelli one. Wow. Norris P2, Piastri P3, P4 Russell, Verstappen P5. Verstappen's having a terrible year, isn't he? Not that I care. But so really, what you're saying there, Navi, is that the teams that are right now at the top in terms of development are the teams that have come in at the top of the grid. The teams that are doing the best tech developmentally are the teams that won today. Now, I thought these new rules were supposed to like make the whole thing less predictable. I kind of feel like they've made it more predictable. Jurassic Park Expedition. That is way too big, my dude. I mean, if I was doing a Jurassic Park style map from the start, maybe. But that is too big for this place. Oh, that's not nice. No, no, no. That's the science center, though, and thingy. It's more of a Jurassic World style anyway. It's kind of cute. It doesn't fit in with the Jurassic Park style. Modernized Jurassic Park. That's just the Din one with Jurassic Park stuck on it. That's lazy. That's lazy. Hello, Basti. Oh, that's such a lazy as well. Eco-futurist. It's a bit Lost World more than Jurassic Park. I feel that one. Same for that, really. I want something that, you know, you could drive tourists past and it look decent enough for the tourist to be like, ah, but it's still got to look... It's still got to look Jurassic. But I hate all these 4-in-1 designs people have done. Ugh. It's an interesting. It's an interesting little rustic. That's kind of nice. Ooh. Okay, so far the rustic one is winning out. Okay, so if we want tourists to drive past it, but we want it a little bit away from... So let's go with, like... there. Yeah, I don't think that one's too... What do you mean limit? Oh, of course, we're in campaign. I forgot about that. Okay, well, let's get rid of this Lost World shop. Yeah, I think... Where's the original? Where is the... What is the original one? Yeah, the original one doesn't look too far off that, to be honest. Oh. So there's the Jurassic Park one as standard. There's the one I've just downloaded off the workshop. It's exactly the same. He's just put a few crates and shit around it. You know what? That's actually slightly annoyed me. I thought I'd found one then. There was one we looked at close to the beginning, wasn't there? And I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. Hello, Luna. Imagine while watching Surviving Earth, you see a baby bird, and then you remember the creator's post for a quarter of beasts. It was this one, wasn't it? We were like, oh, that one's nice, but it's a bit maybe too brutalistic. But bugger it, we'll go with this one. Which way round? Let's actually have it that way around. And we'll give a little bit of distance from our plant. Yeah. Now what we will do is we are going to edit this slightly because I think the bamboo doesn't really suit. So we're going to remove the bamboo, replace it with some concrete 2 panels. These ones. Like that. Oops. Gonna get rid of that because I think it looks untidy. Get rid of these 2 as well because I don't think I need them. Get rid of these. Actually, we'll keep those. I feel like I should do a series where I just like take random people's workshop builds and neaten them up. It could be like pimp my workshop build. Do I like that? I'm not sure I do. but I don't not like it either. Keep it for the moment, please. Ugly bamboo again. Can we actually... This is one thing that does kind of annoy me about certain people's workshop builds. Is when they decide we're just not going to place a door and we're just going to have this chasm in the front. I know it's not particularly realistic to have people that just sort of phase through the walls, but I really don't like when it's just like this empty black chasm either. I am okay with the wood being there. See, again, this use of bamboo. Why? Am I just missing something? A lot of the Jurassic Park era buildings are using bamboo. I feel like bamboo makes sense for buildings for tourists, but it doesn't make sense for buildings like this. Not in my view. I think for buildings like this, you really are going to have to work on just use concrete. The concrete is the right type in my view. Might look a bit not very interesting, but at least it looks realistic. There we go. Let's duplicate one of these. Twist it round so we actually have some security here and don't just have a whacking great big gap. Oh, I see. Random chunk of amber here. No, don't do that. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, we'll leave that. Even if I think it's a bit... doesn't make much sense. And we're going to switch to mesh fence. Huh? Because we want our guests to be able to see in here. Gonna be a quiet stream today, I think. Maybe Evo would have finished hers by now, so it's gonna be a quiet stream, I guess. reason why Moros in Dominion is small, because Colian saw an image of it standing on a log, but he thought that log was a tree branch. So he didn't think to go away and research the creature properly. He didn't think to maybe check the information first. He just went ahead with it without checking. That just makes him more stupid, in my opinion. Okay, and then we want the response center. Also, kind of next. Hello, Cozy. Am I happy with that? Happy enough. Ah, and hello, ASR. Not often I see you on a Sunday stream. How are you doing? I can hide that with a tree or something. Or a bush or something. I just wanted to make sure that there was... plenty of room around this chopper. Ooh. Actually upset I missed a Frontier discussion as I had a lot to talk about. So did I, as a matter of fact. It took me a long time to get out everything I wanted to say. But I think in the end it was a really good discussion, and I think everyone I was actually quite glad that everyone did show up for it, because otherwise it would have been you know, a kind of a waste of a stream. Oh, this was quite nice, near the old maintenance station. Right. Not sure what to do with this gap here. Ah, we do need to make sure we have another pylon in here. Probably makes sense to have it around here. That's going over the chopper. That's just silly. Maybe. Not the best solution. But until I come up with a different one, just to keep the park, you know, from losing power entirely. Right, let's apply our maintenance team. So 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and 5. And you can be attached to all of them, just to make doubly sure that nothing goes unsorted. Right. Now, this habitat I really don't like. It was kind of a compromise solution to a problem I was having with this particular map. And I really don't like how it's turned out. I think it's really horribly ugly. What is in here? Mutabura, Drosaurus, and the Brachys. I really don't like this science center. The Jurassic Park Science Center is well, I don't like the fact that the front of the building screws up the scaling because they've used these clear office windows, and like can you see that scaling wise, like this window, the door would be like 5 meters tall. It screws up the scaling of the building entirely to have those like that. It would have been so much better off just to use the windows at the front of the building for that, and to just, I don't know, do something else with this bit entirely. What's just died? Oh, so Drosaurus has died of old age. Okay, so, this... Then leading into this. I want to do something here, this space here. You are going the wrong way around. There's a big gap here. I'm pondering. We've got a few nice rock arches in the modular building tab, right? Rocks. Arch. Yeah. Thinking just a couple of arches. I've used the wrong type of track again. Yeah. Then we can just duplicate all this up to the rocker. That. And then I'm thinking, let's actually not enclose the entire thing, but what I want to do is kind of create a secret area that you can only see from the floor. It's not bit this. It's. I want it to be wide enough for us to be able to put like a statue or something. Sheriff, we need a lawsuit. Fletcher killed. I did not kill another animal. Old age killed another animal. Cheeky. Cheek of it. Take offense to being accused of such crimes. Countersuit for defamation. You should legally change your name to Old Age because you kill animals. My dinosaur parks have no higher count of animal death than Evo's. And she starves her animals. You watch, this will be the one moment that she's lurking in the chat. She'll be like, I do not. I just forget about them. Okay. Now then. You see, what I would like to do is try to have the tour go over the path at some point. Currently the tour goes through here, follows around down here, curves around here, and then does this jointy weird curve in order to hook up to an exit station here for this slot over here, and then it carries on back, goes through here, past this weird setup, and then down here, and stops at another station at the balloon tour, and then carries on its jaunty way. Because I wanted the hotels, which we will be replacing, to have their own area, basically. But I'm thinking of completely redesigning this whole section. So where really could the tour ride go over the path? Maybe if it came over here somewhere. The only problem with these guys is, what can I do with them? Because I'm going to have to remove them from the park. The Velociraptors. Right, actually, let's go trank the Velociraptors and dump them into the wild. Then we can work on this area without worrying about them, and I want to make this path more parallel to that fence, really. I'm surprised the maintenance trucks are being able to manage, considering all the weird environmental stuff I've got going on. I need to create some Jurassic Park style planters at some point. Although that is not what May's modular building theme is going to be. I have decided that May's modular building theme is going to be all about security. This is a really horrid enclosure. I'm having a thought, which is always dangerous. But what I'm thinking is, what if we combine... And how do we get a bridge across the path? Because there's technically no path going there, but I want a bridge. I feel like the best place for a bridge is here somewhere. Okay, so Evo doesn't get triggered when I mention the fact that she starves her animals to death, but she does get triggered when I say I want a bridge. Ugh. Maybe over here. Maybe instead of raising the elevation of the tor above the path, I should be thinking about lowering the elevation of the path under the tor track. But I still want to do something about these enclosures because these are ugly. These are so bad. I want all these ridges to kind of combine into each other. Because at the moment they just look so temporary, which is what they were. They were all just temporary. Then if I can run the tor along the top of the ridges. Have the tor come from here up onto a ridge. And then there has to be a gap in here somewhere. So it comes up onto the ridge. Crosses a bridge. Comes back down. Comes around here. And I'm not being funny, but they don't need this tor station here. They've got one there. They can walk to that one. They don't need this one. Fuck them. And then, so yeah, come off here. And then this path can be... Well, no, maybe not come off here. Maybe just continue being a bridge. And we can have a bridge that kind of curves and then it comes onto this bit here and then it can then go down and connect back to the floor truck. That seems like a better idea. Banning you from the mod chat. Okay, so this is... I'm going to draw this in now so I know what I'm doing. This is where the new tor track is going to go. No, it's not going to go that way. Oops. Going to go... So it's gone up onto here. It will go over a thing. It will make a turn here. Cross up to here. Come back around and then... That's the plan. All this is going to be deleted anyway, and the hotels will probably move anyway to probably over here. There's a lot of wasted space over here anyway. Just bloody fences just stuck here floating off the ground in the middle of the Triceratops and Iguanodon enclosure. Got nowhere else to put the stuff. Right, let us... We're also probably going to have... Well, we're going to have to redo the balloon tour anyway. So goodbye, balloon tour. Hotel. Okay. This map really is tight. It does make me think of Penna in a good way. I miss Isla Penna. I think... This is going to be a controversial statement. I think small maps are better than big maps. I think small maps inherently end up more creative because you're kind of forced to find new ways of doing what you would normally do with a huge map but with less space. Okay. Clear out all this. Because now we can kind of redesign everything around this. Oh, interesting. The thing I stole from the Japan map isn't grouped. Right. For the tour track... Oh, well, I suppose we better have a look at where the terrain... Ah, I see. So, this ridgeline, I think, can be less tall. I think... Let's make the ridgeline less tall. It doesn't have to be huge. Actually, sever this. Tour track comes... I mean, we'll redesign this whole area anyway. Comes out about here somewhere. Comes up on this ridge. Because this ridge is here. Follows a ridge line across, but there is going to be a gap in it. Have maintenance, pathway, and ranger pathway. So just say it gives us a decent space to produce bridge, which apparently the tour vehicles just work with bridges now. I had missed this. I thought we were still having to use the glitch, but apparently no. They just drive on them now. Don't know why we had to have that added, because kind of feel that should have been part of the modular building from the beginning, but there I go, being anti-frontier again. Can't be doing that. Okay, now I'm okay with this being water here, but it definitely needs to be larger for this water. Otherwise it just looks ridiculous. I've realized this is this is campaign mode, so any dinosaur I put in here, they have to be satisfactory with the paddock. I must remember that. I must remember that the dinosaur needs are on. So I do have to remember. Okay. So, tour. I'm not being funny. See, I'm sorry. I'm going to sound slightly anti-frontier here. I apologize. But if they could create a system which goes, oh, this is too steep, you must have a ramp here, and automatically put a ramp in for you, Why can't it automatically put a bridge in for you? It doesn't make any sense to me. If you've already designed a system that will ramp for you, why not design a system that will put the bridge in for you? It's just baffling to me, honestly. Right. So it rejoins the land on here, and then comes back around, and then there has to be another bridge here because the rangers and the maintenance need to get through here. So we're going to have to kind of create like a curved bridge to get them back around there. And then the ridgeline carries on. Past the waterfall that will be here, or the lake followed by waterfall that will be here. Then connects back up to this. You know, for all the positivity of having a ramp tool at last, I have to say the ramps they do create are god awful. Very ugly ramps. Too much work for an indie company. I wouldn't call Frontier an indie company. I think, for me, if you have more than 600 employees, which they do, according to a quick Google search that I had to do earlier on to reply to someone's comment, I think if you have 600 employees, you're a bit bigger than an indie company. Okay. So, this is then all going to be waterfall. Why is the water brush so enormous? That's another thing I don't understand. You know, the water brush is so big compared to all the other brushes. Let me put some deep water in here. Yeah. Okay, and then that gives us a couple of, water enough for animals. This enclosure became so overpopulated too fast. Like the Stegosaurus, I had to prohibit from breeding because the Brachiosaurs bred so far. I still really do feel that the breeding in this game was... I need to fix that. I really do feel that the breeding in this game was not thought out particularly well. I do assume these sorts of bridges work with it, right? As long as the floor pieces have collision. I think I like that bridge the best. And it's concretey enough that I think it still says Jurassic Park. Stick a few columns on it, put a few lanterns on it. It's Jurassic Park. Maybe I should dig this enclosure down. Where's the down? Yeah, because the maintenance trucks need to be able to get around here. So. It doesn't have to be low all the way around. Let's just have like a low bit and a slightly higher bit for the raptors. Ah, buggeration. That to me is low enough. It should be able to get on that. I don't see why it wouldn't. Let's check what Evo has done. So these are just square floor pieces, wood, collision on. So, assuming this works the way I'm told it works, should be able to put it across. I have to do something. Still wants to put the road. Still wants to ridge the land. Make the ramp as short as possible. So it still well, hang on then. So it still demands that you have the ramp. Like you can't not have the ramp. It creates a ramp even if the vehicles don't... Well, then that's... Well, that's not going to work then. That's useless to me. Because that means... So really, to make this work, you have to have a really long bridge. You can't have a short bridge because the ramps it will create under the bridge makes it kind of a waste of space then in that case. You have to have a very long bridge in order to make this work. Just a few meters. Well, I mean, you saw what I was trying to do that. You can't make this... I mean, that's... See, it still wants to create the ramp. Like, the shortest... No, set it down earlier. Don't pull it far. I just did. Look. That is the shortest I'm going to be able to do it, I reckon. That's a bugger. So So let's be frank. It doesn't technically work properly. It's still kind of a glitch, really. It's an exploit that the game has given us, but it doesn't work properly. You have to hide it with rocks, and there's a minimum length to the bridge that you can actually get away with. This is why I don't like exploits. Because I feel like when we decide, oh, well, it's just we'll use this exploit to do the thing that Frontier should have enabled us to do, then I feel that there's less impetus for Frontier to actually do the thing we want them to do, and that is to make this sort of structure work properly. I don't think that's a very satisfactory solution to the problem. That's my opinion. I would rather that Frontier actually gave us functional bridges, and I would rather people actually fought to have functional bridges as opposed to, well, we'll make do with this. We'll make do by creating this solution, for want of another word. I think I would rather people actually pressured Frontier to do something. Again, that is kind of my opinion on the whole situation with you know, that apology that they eventually gave us. The apology is fine, but I would rather we actually continued to ask them to do something better. So, I don't think I'm going to be able to put another bridge in here, actually. Because I don't think this is long enough. might have to alter the route a little bit. Again, we'll stick to using this design of bridge that Evo. What? Hang on, have I been led astray? Is this not actually one of Evo's bridges? 1B. Because that's a nicer bridge. I hope that's not a case that someone's actually tried to adapt one of Evo's bridges and I've downloaded a stolen bridge. So now I have to make sure that this is going to line up properly. So this bridge is actually a little bit longer. Come on, you don't need that amount of space for a ramp. Come on. That's ridiculous. Come on. Bugger. Filling in bridges is stressful. I don't want bridges to be stressful. Right. Bridge. Yeah. So I'm probably it's not going to manage a single span of bridge. It's going to kick up a fuss. Okay, how have we ended up with two completely different heights. Bridge was too tall to start with. That's my I'm not very happy about this and how it looks face. What are you obstructed by? I wish I knew. What are you obstructed by? There's nothing here. Stop being stupid. Obstructed by what? There's nothing here. Like, seriously. Oh, there was a little bit of park tour there. No. Is it just because the bloody truck was there? Yeah, it's just because the bloody truck was there. Okay. I'll do a cutout here because I'm going to need space to put power plants and all that lovely stuff. Well, not power plants, but pylons and stuff. But wow, that was more stressful than I feel like it should be. And I'm going to have that at this height. Fine. Do you see why this one needs to be such a massively long ramp, though? When it accepts a really short one on that side. I've always been bugged by the fact that it won't let you create tour track unless it's no, you don't need to put should just be able to put the track across and then shrink the land underneath. That's all I want to do. Why is that side so much worse than... That side is worse than this side, and it bugs me that I cannot understand why. But I'm not prepared to fuck around with that anymore. can't even check that it works, can I? I would just have to hope and pray. Where are we? Oh god, it's 22. Yeah, so things learned. If I want to put any sort of bridge in a future park, basically plan for the bridge to be like the big focal thing straight away. And make the bridge as long as humanly possible. Short bridges do not work in this game currently, as well as a long bridge. Lessons learned. It's going to have pissed off all the Matabarosaurus. I wonder how expensive it would be to put all of my dinosaurs back into the wild. Helicopter. Task slots fully. It's amazing how Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2 has no problem on making bridges. And the frustrating thing is that I'm sure a lot of people would, if we were being plain about this, I know a lot of people would turn around and probably go, "Oh well, Universal probably doesn't want them to have that." That would be the response. It's Universal's fault. Of course it is. There is a way to make really short bridges even for you vanillas. Just don't know if I can explain it in chat. I'm sure there's a better way of doing it, you know. But it shouldn't have to be that pissing difficult to do, frankly. It frustrates the goddamn heck out of me that we are 3 games in and we still don't have bridges. We still don't have tunnels. But we don't get easy in this game. The really cool stuff. Easy is for console players. Yeah, AESR. I think that is fair. You're buying the brand. That is literally all that you're buying with this game is the brand. It's like buying a BMW or buying a Porsche or buying a Ferrari. You're just buying the brand. I just wish Prehistoric Kingdom... I find Prehistoric Kingdom so hard to get into because it's still so rudimentary. Like, for all of its faults, Jurassic World Evolution 3 is a completed game. Prehistoric Kingdom still needs all these fixes and still needs lots of optimization. Especially in the graphics, because even with the rig I have, it still looks like shit. It still needs optimization. It still needs animals to feel like animals, because at the moment they really don't. I'm hoping the next patch that releases is decent enough that I'll actually be able to get into it. But that is heavily dependent on stuff like optimization and fixes. Evo's going to hate me as well as I turn her concrete bridge grey. Interesting that this bridge isn't separating out the wooden. I want the wooden slats to still be coloured. I'll have to go back and do that all myself. I don't know, maybe off stream I might just come back to this and just redo the whole bridge thing. Because I'm sat here looking at this and I'm thinking, why am I taking the tour this way just in order to come down here when it really should just continue along the back end of this map here, and then we could have a 3-spar bridge here, maybe 4-spar, and just keep this lake in the middle as a nice thing. Anyway. So that gives a bit more of an idea of how big this central enclosure is. But I think it's going to be a no baby breeding on this map, because otherwise it just gets absolutely ridiculous. I think a Margosaurus or Brachytralopin would be very cool to see in Prehistoric Kingdom. But more basic is that let's get all the species that they said that they were going to put in first, and then go from there. And yeah, I think I'm gonna run the tour track along the back of this map. Put a 3-spar bridge in, and then take the tour track along the back end here, and then that frees up this area a bit more for the hotels and stuff. I'm not sure where I'm going to put the hotels. And I'm going to have to figure out how to do the blocking under here. But yeah. I might even make my own bridge. That might be an off-stream thing. But I've been going now for well over 2 hours, as my voice is telling me. So I think I'm going to call it a night here. I'm not going to be on the Discord, Basti, not tonight. It is not D&D night, but we might be doing something else tonight. So I won't be on the Discord, but I probably will be at some point this week, so... basically just keep a lookout for me, really. No babies allowed, indeed. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here, folks. Thank you for tuning in with me and watching me slowly demolish this map and rebuild it slowly but surely. I know it's not particularly interesting to watch me redesign, but we are slowly getting there. The Din Park is still on the thing to do. I just need to build the hotel, which I want to do recorded, so I can make a video on it. So, and then once that's done, we'll be back in the Badlands to finish that one off. And the Norway Park still needs finishing as well. So, but yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. I'll see you next time. The videos are all ready to go for the next month, so streams will be here and there. I need to figure out if Fallout's going to be around for streams or not. Well, Dane's over there, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, hope the rest of you enjoy your Sunday evenings. Stay safe, and good night.